Okay, here we go. All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to walk through building your own content tool using Google Anti-Gravity. And I figured it's basically Armageddon outside, so I figured I would have us walk through how to do this. So in here, let me grab some stuff. I want to show you an example build first, and then we can dive into the fun deals. Okay, so here we are on my little screen. Mind you, I've never done a live stream on here before, so I don't know how this is going to work, but let's expect I'm going to have some issues. So anyways, here's a content creator that I put in here, and essentially how this works is it gives you the ability to come in and take a series of topics or your own like example channels or Twitter accounts that you might want to get references from. And then using these, it comes up with new ideas. So let's assume this is working. It's going to create new discovery. So new topics that I may want to create content on. Anything in here I end up liking, I'll be able to hit save to it and having this saved into our ideas section. From here, I can hit generate and generate posts from these ideas. What's going to be great about this is that under content log, I will then see each of those pieces of content been created. And you'll see here that these are all in drafts. And then from there, I've also set it up so I can have a lead magnet be created based on this and the research that was done. And so we can come in here and hit view. I think it should open these up without breaking, but it was going through and would also create little lead magnets related to that pieces of content. Now, I also went through and added a few extra things. In the example that we'll walk through today, we're going to focus in on being able to use this to do content ideation as well as creating a content output. And so essentially the goal here by the end of this is you'll understand how to use Google Gemini to have it use the Claude skills that we've actually referenced in a previous video and using that to pull sources, create new content ideas based on those topics, and then generate unique content in your own tone of voice, or at least in a structure that aligns from someone else that you want to imitate, we'll call it, right? So again, in this example, I also did set it up so I can make webhook calls and push this stuff to my make.com account or Zapier or N8N, whatever one you want to use. So that way you could actually have this set up to auto post, which is pretty cool. Now, again, I can show you how to do that. Put it down in the comments below if that's actually something you want, but we got a lot to get done before we get to that point. So how do we want to do this? Well, let me show you what this project currently looks like. It's a little beefy, but you'll see we've got, our scripts, our front end and our back end. And then we have some reference pieces that we give to the AI so that way it understands what we're going to go through and build. Additionally, we've also got that skill creator. Again, this was in another video where I discussed the importance of using and creating templates for yourself that you can just duplicate to quickly get into doing the build. And so that's actually exactly what we're going to do here. How we're going to do this is we're going to come and open up our docs. We're going to go to downloads. I got a version of it in here somewhere. You'll see all of my lovely stuff. Yeah, we'll just duplicate that one. We're going to duplicate this. Yeah, we're going to do Control C, Control V. Where'd you go? There we go. And so we're going to let this do a quick duplication. Now, once this is done, we're going to take this and actually, you know what? Screw that. We're just going to use this file as it is because that's fine with me. Go open recent, AG. Okay, now we can go through and remove. Yeah, we can go through and remove this web app. I will say, by the way, I'm going to just have a link to this after all of this is done. And so if you want, you can just take everything that I've gotten here and just use it yourself. I'll probably drop it into my school community. If you want to get access to that, feel free to do so. It is, let me take you over to here really quick. School. here's our school community, you'll come over here to the classroom, and then I'll probably have a new section. I'll just create a new course related to this to make it easier for you to access. And so from there, you'll be able to go and grab everything. So anyways, here we go. Let's get this moving. Hit X there. So we've got our new folder. Technically, how this will work is that we're going to have our skill creator folder, which is the piece that teaches how to go through and create new skills and giving AI its understanding on how to create new skills without having to waste a bunch of tokens to do so. And then we've got our execution document, which outlines the directives and all of this other stuff, right? And of course, we've actually got the true directives folder. And then in here, I've got this web app that I'm going to delete that we don't need, move to a recycle bin. Great. And again, in here, I have a skill that I created, and I took references for Alex Hormozi because I think most people really like his style of writing or structure. It's like very direct response formatted. So it's nice. Anyways, we're going to take this stuff and we're going to go through and start talking to our AG folder here and requesting it to create an outline for us to build a front end and a little bit of a back end. And so how we're going to do this is we're going to change this from Gemini 3 Pro, and we're going to go to Claude Opus 4.5. And I'm going to use a tool that I love, which is called Aqua Voice. So I can just speak to it and it'll take my text or my words and just put it into text. So, okay, so your task is to review the following documentation, and based on the information found within, and I can just drag this folder over, you are to create a simple front end documentation as well as a back end documentation so that I can have my own visual interface to leverage the Alex Hormozi LinkedIn skill that we've created. So that way I can come up with ideas and leverage AI to generate my posts that I want to create content for my LinkedIn account. You're going to leverage my API keys that I have within Claude and OpenAI to generate this content. And you are to do a search online for the trends and activity to help come up with ideas and references in relation to the topics that I give you. The outputs of those are going to be what drive the outputted content that we end up creating that we'll use for the LinkedIn post. Okay, so it's going to do its thing. It's going to take a minute, but you see here, I was able to sit here, talk with this, give it all of this context. And what's going to happen now is that this is going to take it, restructure it in a way that it prefers, that it needs for digestion. And then this is going to help us go through and create the PRD file, essentially the foundational file. So that way we can go through and build our own sort of like personal interface for generating content on our own website or on our own device, which is really cool because I don't know about you, but most people are paying for all of these tools and systems. And nowadays you can just go and create it yourself. So highly recommend playing around with this as we go through. So it's going to go through and do that. It's going to create a documentation plan, or really it's going to create an implementation plan. And then I'm going to have us save it as a file for further reference as we go through. Let's see here. So anyways, it is a bit like Armageddon outside. At least that's what people are treating it here in Charlotte. They're acting like it's the end of the world. My apartment is a little cold, but to each their own. Okay, so it has created our implementation plan. So here we go. It's got a little reference point. It's got our little basic backend that saves all of our web search module. It's got our little processor, which uses the content here. And everything else looks good. Blah, blah, blah. API generate. Yeah. And it's going through and creating a super basic front end, super basic back end, verification plan. Got some fancy little UI stuff. Yeah, these look good. Let's see. Should I use OpenAI only or use Claude as the fallback? Search. I would like you to use both Claude and OpenAI um, for your AI provider. Trend search, use your browser-based real-time searches. Yes, I want you to store um, in local storage. Um, honestly, the SQLite database on the back end is probably better since we'll be able to just spin it up anyways. But yeah, this looks good. And we'll go and continue doing the build. Okay, so, having my conversation with my little friend here. Again, we're trying to do this like the super simple way. I'm not trying to go super hardcore because I think it's always great for you to have a simple build first to get yourself started instead of going through and trying to create a super fully fledged application. First off, this helps you make some progress and work through all of those little problems that I think most of you are probably going to face when you're using platforms like this. And so I wanted to show you a way to go about doing this that is hopefully helping you to bridge the gap from its typical complexity. So that way you've got something you can do and feel confident in. Mind you, do not try to sell this thing because it is not the direction you want to go in for selling. You have a completely different approach. If you're just building your own personal internal tool, the direction I'm going is the direction I would, recommend because you can be more scrappy. It's substantially less secure in terms of all of that stuff, right? But I'm assuming you're not going to be giving people direct access to your files and all that information. So, it should be pretty straightforward. However, as you see here, it is slowly putting everything together. It's putting the little processor. This will then read this information in order to, properly connect with everything. Yeah, we're going to accept these changes. Let's go back. As you see here, it's just sort of slowly working through its thing. But yeah, guys, so we're going through here. One thing you may notice is it takes a little while. It is still substantially faster than it would have been had you tried to write all this yourself, but it does still take a little bit of time. Um, and part of what I do like, though, of the anti-gravity ecosystem is it does have a really good planning phase compared to the other models or platforms. It's not like they're terrible. It is sort of just the newest and fanciest one, but it does do a really good job leveraging AI to help put together a quality plan that helps you create something pretty good by the end of it. So, okay, cool. As you see here, it's not going through and building the backend server, basic database, and post storage. While it's doing that, I'm going to open up on my other screen here and get my API keys. Notepad. Look at all those people I need to get in front of. Okay, so I've got a test key that I'm going to use. Let's see here. All right, and then it is running through that front end stuff still. Hello. So we're working through the front end build here. and it's slowly doing its thing. Once this has been done, we will go through and just get this running just to see what it looks like. However, I would argue that you're probably going to need to make a few adjustments. It's highly dependent on what it is that you prefer in terms of structure and stylization. If it was me, I say just sort of leave it as is out of the gate and just start playing with it instead of feeling like you have to like make it the most beautiful thing from scratch, especially if it's going to be like what we're intending on building here, which is just a locally ran platform. So it's not like you're going to be going and selling it to other people. It's more about building yourself your own internal tool and infrastructure that you can use. As long as it's up and running, you'll be able to use it in your own ecosystems, right? A fun thing about this is that once you understand this basic concept of how to use a system like this to build your own tool and infrastructure, something like content creation, um, you can then have it integrate via the webhooks and input that data into like your platforms, like HubSpot, for example. You have an ability to create an API connection there where you can send and receive your own data. So you could create your own drafts with inside of HubSpot for your social media content or for your emails that you're having with people and so on. So look at this though. It's honestly just going through and doing everything for us, which is so crazy nowadays. So I mean, I don't know. This is sweet. So we're going through at this point, that documentation is great. I mean, it's been able to go through and build stuff. It sees its problems. It's iterating on these problems without us having to come in, which I think is pretty dope. So it's doing its thing, and once it's ready, we'll keep on popping over. Gonna put on some background music though on my end because why not? Why not? We're gonna do some jazz. Do, 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 do. Bow, bow, bow. Interesting. All right, so we officially had a point where we can clean this up, get that running, get that fixed. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? I feel like my audio is really low. Mm. La 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 da 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 da. Look at that, it's giving us a basic example. It's technically not the actual front end yet. We're gonna allow this so it can open up. Look at that, we got our basic little scraper builder tool generation piece. Look at this. So here it is. It's giving us the ability to add a keyword or a topic, takes this information and those trends, and then create posts. I don't know about you, but that's pretty sweet. Honestly, it didn't take much. The reason it doesn't take much, by the way, is because we've already gone through and added these skills and put in this information beforehand, so that way AI is really able to leverage all the information that we've got before it, even has to start building anything. Like we've gotten rid of so many unnecessary steps. So, anyways, it's going through. It's taking some of its own screenshots here to understand what this process is looking like and how things are. One thing we did not get here, though, is the actual keys for it to leverage these models. So that is going to be an issue. Ooh, that looks amazing. It's going to give me a seizure. Yeah, accept all these changes. Now use Claude. Yeah, it's an ENB file. Hold on there. Ah, That is the issue. Save. Yeah, sorry, I'm not putting my keys out there if I don't have to. Okay, just added Claude API key. Okay. Yep, so there we go. It's gonna go through and start restarting this little system for us. We'll be able to keep this local host most likely, so we'll be able to just keep this page up. We'll see here, it's running all of this. Now we're gonna do the test for us. We're gonna reload this page. We're gonna click on Claude, and we're going to do creating content with Gemini or Google Anti-Gravity and antiques. I said anti-gravity, bro. Anti-gravity. Research trends. Let's see if it breaks. Not bad for a first test, huh? Let's see how this turns out. What is really cool is that errors that do show up should come through here, and then it'll be able to start taking notes on this. So it's going to pull up the trends and angles. Here's research trends. Use these insights in my post. So for hype, for limitation, approach. Some of this is like great. Interesting. All right, so we're going to take this. Ooh, invalid API key. Use these insights in my post. We're going to see if I hit this, if this works. Here we go. Let's see if this turns out. Ooh, look at that. We got some content. Ooh, we got some content. Oh, magic bullet. Winners know that it's not that simple. Thomas, boundless creativity. More like boundless headaches. In some aspects, it can feel that way. Uh, it's okay. We can regenerate another one of these. But look at this. It is working. So we're at a point where we could just keep running this. So once you get this point, let's say you want to add the ability to do webhooks. So all we got to do here is do the following. Okay, great. So I love the addition that you've made to let me create content and then also store it. What I also want you to be able to do now is to add a calendar module that I can save the content to then be going out, then to go out at a certain time. And additionally, I want you to add a outgoing webhook functionality so that way I can pass the individual piece of content to my make account so I can then auto post this across other social platforms. Okay, great. So it's going to go through and do this. Now that we've got the content that it's able to auto generate from its research in this topic, we're going to go over to make.com. Make.com. Oh, yeah, because this is a separate browser, we need to use another browser. Here, log in. I don't know. We use this. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, we're gonna hit create a scenario. We're gonna create a webhook. We're gonna trigger. We're going to do content build, save, copy address. Mhm. Reoccurring posts. Would you like it? Let's see here. Webhook payload, yes, feel free to let me add additional fields as well as give me a example outline of it on the page so that I can copy and paste it and use it as a reference point for my testing as well as for posting. I would like you to support reoccurring schedules on either time frame. However, all that really matters out of the gate is that I can schedule it and then it will make a push to the webhook so that way I can use my automation to send things out to the appropriate platform. Now, why am I actually recommending you go this direction first? The reason I recommend this versus you just coding it is a lot of these platforms honestly have issues. Let me see if I can do that via school. Nope, I can just invite a member. So we're gonna go Facebook. Oh, Facebook's always a pain in the ass. Facebook pages. Create a post, and then we're gonna do 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 do. Mm, we're not gonna do that one because I don't want to deal with their API. This one, however, should be just fine. Oh yeah, we just need to update this connection. Appropriate post. Oh, you bitch. Doom, 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 doom. Yes, take my data. Connect. Continue. All right, there we go. There we go. And we're gonna hit save right now. And then we're gonna try it LinkedIn. Create a user text post. Beautiful. Media type. Save. Great. We're gonna hit save right now. So how this will currently work, I mean, this is ugly as all get out. But once we get this done, right, accept all. This is gonna be able to run. I'll create a post, and then we're gonna go to my LinkedIn, my Facebook, right here. Friend gear. As you guys can tell, I make lots of content on my Facebook account. Huzzah. We're gonna go here, and we will go to show all posts. This way we're sort of prepping ourselves. This should turn that off. This should, once we're ready, yes, do all of that. Hello, hello. We're going to have this almost be finished so we can get some progress here. Do, 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 do. So yeah, we're working on it slow and steady here, keeping it 100. You know what I mean? So now we are good. We're going through this, and essentially, when this is eventually done, we're going to be able to just drop in the webhook here, and this webhook will be nice and easy to use. Because what will happen is we'll create the post, and I'll just set it up so that way it goes to this webhook, and then it will auto post to both of these accounts as I've got them open here. And then this essentially helped cover the whole thing for you. I mean, you could do more, but I wanted to show you a foundation of how to really kick this off. Because I feel like a lot of the YouTube videos and all that stuff, I feel like, I don't know, I make too many cuts. And I feel like it's just better to sometimes see the full process, at least get yourself started. Because you're going to sometimes hit errors, and I figured I'd work through it if we have any that come through. So holy smokes, anti-gravity. Can you move faster? I mean, I know you're trying to code an entire application from scratch, but give me some forward progress so we can run this test. As you see here, though, I mean, I'm just pitching, but essentially it's going through and it's built out the document. It's adding in a lot for us to do this. I'm not even going to bother trying to refactor this code right now because let's be real, I don't need to do that for this. It's not the new, it's not a Apple, you know, we're not trying to replace something that's already, you know, too bad. But okay, it's going in on this. It's restarting. Oh, thank fuck, it's finally working. Great. All right, let's get this puppy running. Yes. testing the features in browser. Yeah, in the new UI browser, navigate to local host. It's going through and doing the review itself. I just need to allow it. I don't even have to touch anything. It's going to play around with stuff. At least it should take screenshots. As it goes through, there we go. Makes a couple tests. It's confirming whether or not the information is there. It's got a test example payload. It's getting the details and validating whether or not it actually works. I mean, look, it's hands free. It's doing the work for us. I mean, I don't. What else can you ask for? You know what I mean? So, typing, scaling. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that works. We're gonna go back here so we can see what it's doing. Hands free content creation. Look at that. Boom, bada bang. Content has been created. The only caveat here is it is not connected to our Make account yet, but it is just doing all the tests. So once it's done, we'll be able to add in our own. But just doing its test posting. In here, we could click this. One thing I do see that it's missing here is a link to add in um, our own webhook. You can see, got all the details, got its feedback. Here's where we'll need to change that webhook. Here's the webhook. I will probably. Mm, do I want to just give it a singular webhook to use, or should I actually have it store it in the ENV? Mm, maybe we want to go through and do that. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just paste the webhook, make it nice and easy. I'll just let it copy and embed the webhook because we're just gonna use the same one anyways. Um, here's the I want all content to be sent to. There we go. So I've dropped in the webhook. So it's going to add it to the ENV file for me, which makes my life easier. Select another model because I'm not paying for the premium plan, and shit's expensive. I got so many damn platforms I'm paying for. I'm paying like $1,000 a month across all these tools at this point. So select another model. There we go. Okay. Is webhook added to ENV file? Yeah, click ahead, but I don't want to keep having to pull stuff off screen. um, yeah. We're gonna reload here. Hey, here it is. We're going to do this, unlink, play, test webhook. Oh, look at that. We got progress. Guys, we are cooking now. We're cooking with some gas. Um, yeah, message, content. We're gonna clone this. My trick, if you for some reason don't see it, you just give me your content, message, media type, empty. We don't need that stuff. Save, save. All right, you ready for this? We're going to now go through scaling. I don't know, creating a content platform using Google anti-gravity during the winter storm. Even better, we're gonna say we'll get rid of all that. We'll just hit generate post on this. Let's just generate a post here, huh? Boom. Traditional platforms. Blah 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 blah. step-by-step guide. Yeah, you wanna get the step-by-step guide? We're going to run, send to make. Oh, it failed. What failed? Article. We don't need no article. Interesting. We're gonna unlink this. We're gonna try it one more time before we there we go. Ooh, invalid syntax. Post content. There we go. Okay, so that was our issue. It's got the completely wrong thing. Let's try this now. Mhm. Actually, well, I'm gonna not get ahead of myself here. We're gonna save this. We're gonna hit play, send to make, see if this would work. Boom! Look at that. We got content created. Easy peasy. Now, let's get LinkedIn to work. I'm gonna unlink this one because LinkedIn sometimes a pain in the ass unnecessarily. Post content. Save, save, play. Send to me. My LinkedIn connection, 400 errors. So typically that means that there is a connection issue in general with them. So let's go through here. Reshare disabled. All of that. Let's just let's do a change. We're gonna restart this connection. Just gonna log in. Uh, is allow as you can take my data. Save, save, play, send to me. Huzzah! Go to LinkedIn now. Oh, we got our content platform. Guys, this is great because look at this. Now I could tell it to go create the lead magnet that I want with this. Now I don't know about you, but I ain't keeping this content up. I didn't plan to have this content created, so I'm deleting it, but I hope this has been helpful. Honestly, it's cold outside. I wanted to go through and do something. Hey, I know you just jumped in here, but you missed it. I was just showing how to create content using this platform we just built, but I'll show you one more time just for fun. All right. Send to make, boom, bada bang. Content's now been created from your own locally hosted little platform. We just reload the page and bam, it's there. So technically, as long as you've got this front end and back end working for this little platform, you're able to have your own little microsystem on your on your own device now, which is great because it gives you the capability to really create and connect with anything that you want. And if you're not comfortable with APIs, you could just use stuff like Make to help you jump between the other platforms. Arguably, it's probably the easiest thing for you to use for stuff like this, anyways, because the authentication for these platforms changes so much that honestly, it gets really frustrating sometimes trying to keep your code to always be in sync with LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform that you decide to use, right? And so if it was me, I would instead of going and paying for any of those platforms that are out there that charge you for added content curation, I would just go through and use Plot Skills and Google Anti-Gravity to build one for yourself. Host it on your computer, and then when you need to create content, just come in here, research some trends, put the outlines together, generate your own version of it, and use your webhooks that you've got. turn this on, and then anytime you send something here, it'll just auto post to your platforms. So, I don't know about you. I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions and you want access to this little program we put together, I'm going to have it in the school community, as you know already. So if you need anything, just jump there. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay warm, stay out of the cold unless you're one that really enjoys it, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.